Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the live cast of BU, the Inner Circle. Margaret Smith and I are here to be able to talk about our membership, to be able to introduce you to some of the members, and to be able to make this exciting announcement that we are opening the doors for the first time since we started a few months ago, October 25th, for 7 days, which means that you have to become a new member by Halloween.
Yeah, I love how
Margaret.
That worked out so perfectly. On Halloween at midnight, the doors will close.
Yep, the bewitching hour. So have your don't turn into a pumpkin, right? Be able to come and join. So this has been quite a ride, right? We have been since February in BU, the Inner Circle, and we've had some incredible successes and stories. So we're really excited for the people who are coming to join us today to be able to share, what this has been like for them and to see whether or not this might be right for you who are listening out there.
Yeah, that's what, 8 months? I just had to count on my fingers. I think almost 9 months since we started
on our
this journey.
Success path. So now we're in stage 5, optimize it. And we've learned, right, that no matter when someone comes in, they can still go through all of the stages and learn, because it really is perpetual, right? Learning, self-improvement for personal and professional development is ongoing.
Yeah.
So we've developed this success path. And since we have had members leave and new members be substituted for people that had annual memberships, we've already seen that this works. That it's successful to be able to come in and pick up where we are on the success path and begin their journey.
What would you say over the last 8 months? What's something that you've learned that you didn't know it would be like this, or something that appeared to you that you found kind of surprising or different?
Well, I have been really amazed at watching our members, and then for myself as well, being so grounded in what it looks like to take care of ourselves. What it looks like to set up our lives, our thinking, how we're, communicating, and what that looks like in everyday practical terms, so that we are really enjoying our lives more. I mean, I am more grounded and more relaxed than I have been and I own my own business, right? We have other business owners in BU, the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
That's been a big one for me, and to watch how that unfolds in people's lives. How about for you?
Yeah, I mean, I kept going back to how you made the comment a couple of weeks about how, and each of our conversations, doesn't matter who the speaker is or if it's just us as a group talking, all the conversations go back to self-care. And I've always really believed that and known it, but it's just so interesting to see it happen with a group like this, to see it actually come to fruition, that each time we come back to, well, are you sleeping enough? Are you eating well? What have you done for yourself in the last 7 days? Or have you only been serving other people? And so it's been really interesting and enlightening to have those conversations continue, and not have it be just like with my retreats or with coaching calls. You have this one instance of where you talk about it and then you kind of let it go because you got to go focus on other things. But with BU, we have this opportunity to meet every month and just get a little baby steps further. And so having never done something like this, I definitely feel like it's exactly what we're supposed to be doing. And it feels awesome to have the people that are here, to have them see the progress that everybody's making, that the more they take care of themselves, the more they see results in their work and in their personal lives.
Yeah, because it's like a tapestry we've been able to see, right? Because we have a structured curriculum. We have agendas for each meeting. We have homework assignments. So we have this structure to help everyone in their personal and professional development. And then layered underneath there is, are we sleeping? Are we eating well? What's happening? What are we not talking about that we need to talk about? And so these things are impacting personal and professional development and performance, whether members are a business owner, they have their own TC business, whether they are on a team, whether or not they have direct reports, right? So we have all of these different varieties of what is the career of people who are members of BU, the Inner Circle, but it's always a tapestry. It always has these different layers to it And so it's been wonderful to watch people explore on all these different levels and then have breakthrough and breakthrough so that they're, really changing themselves and their lives.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
was what we hoped for, right? That was our intention.
That was totally our intention. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because here's our current book, right? Contagious You by Anise Kavanaugh. We decided to even work on it even longer, but we also had the author come speak, right? We had Anise Kavanaugh come and work with us for
Yeah.
90 minutes, which was
Yeah.
outstanding.
It was awesome. Yeah, I love having the opportunity to actually talk to the people that I think it helps you keep in mind and just remember that all of these people that we read and we research about, they're real humans. They same as us, they have lives and they do, but so it really makes it tangible and makes you say to yourself, okay, if they can do this, I can do it too. And that's that I think that was always what helped to kind of change my perspective on my life, was thinking like, okay, if they can do this, this is not just like, it's not like from some movie or some like really some place where I can't reach out, and it's tangible, it's real life stuff.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the pieces while we're waiting for our first guest to come, which is we have inside the big group, we have accountability groups, right? So that members get an experience of being in a larger group so that you can see the camaraderie and be able to understand and see how people are going through their career as a real estate admin in whatever form that is. And then we've broken people down into accountability groups, and they stay in that group for 2 months. And then we change and give them another accountability group. We ask the accountability groups to meet once a month outside the group. And it's really meant so that people can have a network, they can have connections, they can learn from each other. You and I are very conscious about the assignments, right? When we make the accountability groups, so that different people can learn and share from one another that are going to be able to make a difference for them. Because we see and hear, you've had it in your own experience, I see it in my coaching business, that having a network of shared experience is completely priceless. And that is another reason why we see people in BU, the inner circle, thriving, because they're not only doing their individual work, but they're in a collection, and now they have a really incredible network.
Yeah, and I think that is something I've always talked about in my classes because it's not just about being able to call somebody up and say, hey, how did you do this event? Like, how did you organize it? What were your results? But there's something to be said about when you share out with the world what you're going through and what you need more of, and you ask for help or you ask for feedback, things can happen from that. And I think sometimes we hold back because we don't want to, as admin and operations folks, we want to be able to take care of everything because that's our job, is to make it happen. But having that network actually makes everything happen more easily. And so it really, that is, I've always said that to people. It's kind of, that's like my secret sauce. And I know that same for you, like the wider your network, the more access you have to different opportunities and reaching different people. And that's definitely the magic. Yeah.
And we can also mention that every stage on our success path, or we have 6 stages, we link having certain leadership skills, right, that people can work on and see where they are about that. In where we are right now, our leadership skills are delegation, passion, being tech savvy, and learning agility, right? So we're always, putting into and sort of infusing into the BU success path about what are each of the different layers that you want to work on. Because while we are doing a group membership program, it is individually customized, right, for whatever the person really wants to be able to focus on.
Yes. All right. Sorry, I've been texting back and forth with our first person. I think she's able to be here, so we can let her in.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Hello.
Hey.
Sorry,
Yay.
guys.
You made it.
I did. I had my meeting with Mark, so.
That's okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Kathleen. How are you?
We've told everybody that we're not live on Facebook, but we're recording everything. So we're going to take this and share it with the world. And So thank you for taking the time to share with us your experience.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start off first with just sharing your name, your title, and a little bit about what you do.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'm Amanda Candelius. I am the director of client. I don't know where to look. I'm the director of client care. I have my screen all small. Sorry. Okay. We've got everything.
There you go. You're good.
I am Amanda. I'm the director of client care for Closer Pros. So basically I help real estate agents leverage off their client nurture and sphere of influence touches so that they can focus on the now business. So
incredible.
Awesome. Yeah. Love it. And what prompted you to join the Inner Circle last February?
Yeah, so really I'm a big believer in being around like-minded people who are all in a season of wanting to grow. And so that was why I joined, honestly, because I knew it was going to be a bunch of people who were investing in something, which always tells me that, they're wanting to grow. They're not just wanting free webinars or whatever. They, when you put your money where your mouth is, like that really tells me a lot, right? And so being in a space with, 40 or so people that all wanted growth. That was our goal. Didn't matter what the growth was. We all wanted growth. I wanted to be a part of that. And so that was why I joined.
Love it. Thank you.
Of course.
And what has surprised you about the group?
Probably honestly, the connections that have taken place in the in-between. I love my people. I'm not the most like people-y of all people, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not one to want like 400 friends. And at the same time, it's been really cool having a space of like 40 like-minded people with varying backgrounds to mastermind and network with, because it's been really cool for my business to be able to have people who maybe have expertise in marketing to be like, hey, how would you do this differently? How would you shift that? And then just the connection piece, that always surprises me. So
nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. What would you tell someone who's on the fence about joining?
I mean, my answer, just freaking do it. Like, I think when people are like floundering, they know exactly what they need to do. They're just trying to talk themselves out of it. So people, if you're on the fence about it, you need to do it. And whatever that limiting belief is, just get over it. I mean, I don't know how else to say that any more honestly than that. Like, I think there's always something worth trying. And I think this is one of those things that's worth trying, because I think it creates a great space for people to grow and learn in a safe environment.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you keep coming? What's the momentum of the learning environment and the growth for you?
For me, it's that connection piece. I want people in my space that, here's how I'll say it. I always want to be the dumbest person in the room. And what I mean by that is I want to be not the smartest. I want to be not the one that knows everything. And I think this is a great group of ladies and man who, or men, two men, who want that, they all want growth, and they're all high level, and they all have different businesses and different sets of skills that I know nothing about. And so getting to be in a room with those people makes me the dumbest person in a lot of areas. And that's great, because that naturally means I'm going to grow faster and better. And so that's what keeps me coming back, is just that the growth opportunity and the connection with the other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you make me think about, right, because the people in the group it is global, because we have team members who have virtual team members who are from the Philippines or from, other parts of the world. And so they're a part of BU, and we have business owners and individual contributors. And so it really is this incredible mixture of a network from everywhere. It's cool.
Well, and I just think it's cool. I've moved all over the country. And so for me, I've loved getting to hear how different parts of the country even do the same thing, because it's different. Like what you need to do we'll just take a real estate transaction from a transaction coordinator perspective. What you need to do in Maryland is wildly different than what you need to do in Washington. But there's some streamlines and efficiencies that can come out of just learning how other people are doing things in conjunction with their certain set of skill sets. And I just think that's really cool, let alone making it global and how the Philippines do it. Like you just learn how to communicate and become more efficient at a higher level when you're exposed to more information. Knowledge is power, baby.
It is.
You bring up a good point about I remember when I first started at Pickett Street, Jesse said, I want you to make friends outside of this market, because it's one thing to show up to an admin mastermind in your market and be able to network and share a little bit, but we didn't necessarily want to share all our secrets with the people that are right in the same office with us. And so when you go outside your market, you can also find that you can share more, because you're not going to affect this is, I mean, I always believe in sharing everything anyways, because there's more than enough business to go around. But there's just a lot of value, I think, to stepping outside of your area.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I just think what a great opportunity we have to do that. I mean, why not? Why the heck not hear how you do it and see if I can take anything from it? Maybe it's even just one word change, but it makes all the difference, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Amanda, if you would share with us, what is a leadership skill that you've worked on for yourself, or what is something that has changed in your life, if you're willing to share with everybody?
Yeah, of course. I think for me, the biggest thing I have noticed over the last couple months, and I definitely attribute it to being a part of BU and just that community and networking, is really just owning my voice and my space. And what I mean by that specifically is I've always been kind of that observer fly on the wall unless I really feel hellbent about sharing things. And over the last few months, I've really just kind of stepped out of that comfort zone of that and stepped into wanting to share my experience and my thought process and even my vulnerabilities and my struggles, just because it's that connection piece, right?
Yeah.
I oftentimes don't enjoy communicating information unless there's a purpose in it. And so unless I immediately know there's a purpose, I don't want to do it. And BU and, just the community of BU has helped me to share it, even if I don't have that logicality behind it, because there's likely someone that needs to hear it or wants to hear it and just hasn't asked. And so that's given me a space to, just because you don't hear it doesn't mean you shouldn't share it, I guess.
I love
Really
that.
nice. Appreciate that about you.
Yeah, I guess to summarize that, I've gone from being a silent observer to an active participant. I'm working on it. Work in progress here.
Yeah, everybody, all of us.
Yeah. One other question that came to mind as you were talking was, I think it's interesting to think about the accountability groups. Like, I'm really glad that we did that, and we started this group with that. So it's not just us meeting as a big group twice a month, but we also have encouraged the accountability groups to meet on their own once a month. And so you've been in enough masterminds around in different states around the US to know what that can be like. So what have you learned from that experience? Because I think from what I've seen so far, it's been interesting to see someone has to kind of take the lead on that. Someone has to say, hey guys, we're meeting. What day and time can we meet? And what have you learned about that? Just the process.
You're asking what I've learned about accountability groups, or what have I
Yeah,
learned
about the process of making that happen outside. And
yeah, I think oftentimes, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it how it's coming to mind. I think oftentimes admin oriented people are so used to being the ones that are waiting for the vision, but they've got the vision in them and they've got the leadership in them. They're just waiting for it, right? Because that's their setup, right? Agent or boss or whoever is the one that delivers the information, and then I receive it and I implement it, right? We're implementers. And so being forced into a space where we have that voice and are able to exercise that leadership skill is great, because it's super safe. And so for me, I think it gives admin a space where we're all like, hey, we're kind of on the same even playing field here. And who's going to step up and take a shot on it, because it's a safe space, right? Like I might send the email and say, hey, Mo and Kathleen, we're an accountability group. Like, let's get together. And I might totally drop the ball, but at least I had that space to exercise and try those things. Because I think, I don't believe practice makes perfect, but I believe practice makes progress. And the more times we do something, the easier it becomes. And so I feel like BU and the accountability group specifically give an opportunity for people to exercise leadership in both small and large ways, which then allows them to take that back to their job or even their personal life and really start implementing those things, because it becomes easier. Now it's not as scary to do that because I did it in the accountability group.
Yes, because we know we've had people share stories about things like now they will speak to their clients, right? If they own a TC business, right? They'll speak to their agents who are their clients in a way where they're able to really set expectations, set some different kinds of boundaries, and they got to practice that, in working inside the group, and then bring that outside. And that's just huge.
Yeah.
It's a big relief.
Christina Jagels, who's in BU, told me this a long time ago, and I used to buck at it, but it was fake it till you make it. And I used to have a hard time with that concept because it felt, it just didn't feel authentic to me. And what I learned in faking it till you make it is sometimes you just need to put on your big girl hat and do the thing. And then one of two things happens. You either just did it, and so now it's not as scary because you don't have the fear of the unknown there, or you do it and you fail and you learn from it. But at the very least, like, you have the experience and the exposure behind you, so it's not as big moving forward. And then you take it and you implement it. And so it's really easy from there.
Yes,
Have that. Yeah.
agreed.
So true. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we move on to our next person?
No, just the only thing I thought and wrote down when you shared the questions with me was, if you're on the fence, just do it. I mean, what do you have to lose, right? We pay for a lot of big things in our life as it is. And, you guys aren't going to hold our feet to the fire if we want to dip out. So why not take a chance? I think majority of the people have stayed throughout the year. Why not take a chance on yourself and really see if you can learn and grow? Because the worst case, you're just out some money and a little bit of time. And that's really it. So
And might make some friends even in the meantime.
make some friends, some connections. I've gotten business out of the group. So for me, it's a no-brainer, but
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks.
of course.
Thank you so much. I know you were busy this morning.
Yeah. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Appreciate it.
Oh, always good to see you.
All right. See you guys.
She is so well spoken about how just the impact of everything and the things that she's brought up and noticed through the last year. It's really cool.
Well, and it's interesting to see, right, that observer on the wall, right, the fly on the wall. And now, right, she's using more of her voice, but she's been observing for some time. And so she also knows what she's talking about because she's been paying attention.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Yes.
All right. Well, our next person's in the waiting room. Should we go ahead and let her in?
Yeah, let's welcome Steffi on.
Okay.
There she is.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Very well.
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Hey, if Champ wants to come on screen, it's totally
Oh,
okay.
he's right here. You know,
I think he's gonna be. He might gonna have a gig like in TV someday. He definitely
right.
he likes to be a part of it.
There you is. Say hello. I'm sorry, I scratched you. I'm sorry. Say hey.
Hey.
No, that's all. He just wanted y'all to see him.
I like it. Well, thank you for spending some time with us this morning and sharing about your experience with BU. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all as always.
So start us off by telling us a little bit your name, your title, what you do for a living, where you work.
Okay. My name is Stephion Morris, and I'm here with the Keller Williams Northwest Louisiana Market Center. So started off as an executive assistant for one of our agents. When I first started, she was an individual agent. Then for a short while, we were a team. Then it went back to an individual agent. So started her in 2017. And now at this point, I've pretty much transitioned into full-time transaction coordinator. I still do transaction coordinating for the agent that I started with, and then I've started my business, my transaction coordinating business.
And what is the name of your business?
It's Stephion Morris right now for the time being. I'm still working on the name. I'm procrastinating, I think.
It's exciting. It's awesome.
It's exciting.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
Here, pull your chair up right here. You can sit by mama. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good.
So right now you're full time for that agent and starting your own business on the side.
Yes. So when you're an executive assistant, you're kind of doing everything. You're kind of like the catch-all. Whatever the agent doesn't have time to do, that's what you do. But over time, I realized that transaction coordinating was really what I enjoyed doing and what I was good at. So it was a natural transition, and thankfully, she's really easy, really supportive. So she was very supportive of whichever way I wanted to go.
That's awesome.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
And so what prompted you to join the BU, the Inner Circle, last February?
So when I joined BU, when I first heard about it, someone that
That's
Everything
okay.
Jess, I think it's Jess Yeager.
Yeah.
Is that her name? Yeah, some type of way I became friends with her on Facebook. I have no idea how. I just, I probably ran across her in one of the admin groups. And then I think we became friends that way, but she posted the information about BU. So that's how I started following it. I went back and forth for weeks about whether or not I wanted to join. And then when it came down to the deadline, I think I maybe joined the last day that it was open to be able to join. And initially I thought that it would be a group where I was looking to help build systems for my business. So that's initially why I joined. I was like, okay, I can get in this group and probably get some advice, some guidance on how to build my systems. So that was my expectation from the beginning.
That's perfect setup for like, well, what surprised you about the group?
That's not what it is. It's named BU for a reason.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
It is called BU for a reason.
So it's more about building up yourself. Really, what I'll say is, since joining the group, I've become more aware of myself and of my feelings. I've become more present, and I've also become more intentional. And that's in my business life and my life, my home life. So while it's not what I expected it to be, I'm so glad that it's so much better than what I expected, and it's so much more meaningful than what I've expected, because what I get from BU, it's helped me to do what I thought it was going to help me to do anyway.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Right? Because we all think that the system or the checklist or the software might be the answer, right? But what you're finding is that as you develop your own skills, your own self, your own awareness, your own intuition, your own communication, then the checklist and the software will be icing.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. And what was I gonna say? I just lost my train of thought. In the group, we talk a lot about, I know we talk about a lot about self-care and taking care of ourselves. And I'm very open that that's something that I haven't done a good job with lately. So I'm working on doing better with that. And I'm glad that we talk about that so much, because what I'm learning, or what I'm starting to believe, is that sometimes some of us, probably me included, me especially, can look at self-care or taking care of ourselves, putting ourselves first, as selfish. And I think it may be the complete opposite. It may be the most compassionate thing that we can do to take care of ourselves first, because if we take care of us, if I take care of me and make sure that I'm okay, then I'm so much better for those that I care about. I'm able to care for them better. I'm able to show up for them better, and just, that's just how. So now my whole thought is that it's not selfish for me to do something for myself. It's not selfish for me to put my needs first. It's actually, I'm being compassionate to myself, and I'm also showing my loved ones compassion, because if I'm okay, I'm going to show up a whole lot better for them. And that's better for all of us.
Yes. And you know, thank you for sharing that, because Margaret and I were saying recently, right, that no matter what the topic is, because we have a curriculum, right? We read books, we have speakers, we have leadership skills everyone's focused on, but the conversations always weave self-care into themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's so rampant that
Right.
operations people, I'll say, you know, in our group, I think it's also true in the world of the agents. I think a lot of them don't
Right.
take care of themselves either. But that we don't take care of ourselves. And so then we're running on empty, trying to take care of everything. And so it's just an interesting, I don't know,
You know, I think
byproduct.
if we could take that piece of recording right there with what Stefan just said and play it for the whole world and put it on repeat, and because it is true for humankind. Like, and I think that's what we've been figuring out with COVID is a lot of times people throw it to the side like, oh, it's not really necessary. I don't have to have a good lunch today, or I don't have to take a lunch break. And then the truth is they go out, you know, let's say to go pick up their kids after the workday, or the kids come home, or they're in the house with them during COVID, and they don't have any patience. They have zero patience because they haven't eaten yet. All they've had is coffee and water or whatever. And then their kids have a poor experience with their mom or dad because they're just like, well, why are they so angry with me? It's because they haven't eaten lunch, not because they haven't. So it's a huge problem. And I think it really has more to do with a lot of these, a lot of the negative experiences that we're having around the world, which is like, I know it's oversimplification and it's not the only issue, but I do think that people have not been taught to take care of themselves. And so there's less compassion, less patience, less of everything. So yeah, it's a huge point that you bring up.
Yeah, to then really be able to step into how can I be a great leader managing transactions, right? And be able to be in charge and to be able to be a strong authority and have a voice means that if you back that process up, you needed to take care of yourself in order to show up like that. So we keep trying to work on the show up part when we hadn't worked on the get ready part.
Yeah, that's true.
When I remember what you said, you shared, Stefan, about, you might have just shared this with me offline outside of the BU meeting, but you had said that you always remembered that meeting where somebody said to you, like, you don't speak often, but when you do, it's very powerful.
Yeah, I remember I said that. Someone said that to me at one of my first jobs that I had out of grad school. Someone said that to me, and that always sticks with me because I don't talk a lot, but I try to when I have something to say. Most of the time, well, not most of the time. Sometimes I speak up. But yeah, that sticks with me. I think about that all the time.
And I remember there's been some very poignant moments where you've shared in BU different things that have come to mind for you, and it's always beneficial to everybody when you speak up. Yeah.
Yes, it's still true.
I'm glad.
Still true. And when you speak, yes, it's always something useful.
Yeah. What would you tell someone who's on the fence about joining the inner circle, who's just like, I'm not quite sure I should really do it? I guess kind of what you felt. Just
like,
do it.
I know that's so simple, but just join. Just give it a shot. At least like that first, I don't know, maybe the first meeting. Get to the first meeting and see how you like it, but just join. And especially now, I like that the doors are being opened now in like the last quarter of the year. So it's like you can join now, finish out, you know, it'll be a jump start on finishing out your year strong, and then a jump start on starting 2022 in a good place. So I mean, that's what I say. And if you know anyone personally that's in the group, reach out to them and talk to them one-on-one. But if you're on the fence and it's just on your heart, you really, really want to do it, and for some reason you're hesitant, just join. And I don't think you'll regret it.
Nice. Cool. Thank you. And how do you maintain your momentum? So why have you stayed? You know, what is the momentum that's happening for you?
So another, I don't know what's going on with him. He likes to scream lately. That's his new thing. He gets
Speaking
so
of having a
excited.
voice, right?
Yeah, yes. I don't think he's gonna have any trouble.
No problem.
So one other reason that I joined is because I wanted to be in a group with like-minded people. So when we get to meet, those meetings that we have twice a month, I get momentum from those because I think all of us in the group, we have something in common. Like all of us share some type of shared experiences or shared, what do I want to say? I can't think of I'm having a mind block. I can't think of the word, but we all have a lot in common. So for example, if one person in the group speaks up about something that they're feeling, there's going to be at least one or two other people who feel the same way. And so I get momentum from those meetings every month, just talking and being able to get our feelings out and share with one another, and also seeing the growth in everyone else. You know, some people may be quiet on some meetings, and then on the next meetings, they may be more vocal. But you can see the growth. You see that everyone finds the group beneficial. And I think it's because, first of all, because of what you, Mo, and you, Kathleen, bring to the group, and you provided us a space where we feel safe to share. We're comfortable. We don't feel like we're going to be judged. And then both of you are very patient and very gracious. Like if things are quiet for a while, if you ask someone to speak up and everyone's kind of like, no, I don't feel like talking today. You know, I never sense that either one of you are upset. It's just very patient, and eventually someone speaks up. And even with our assignments that we get during the stages, it's not like there's no pressure. It's not like a pass or fail. It's like, here, these are your assignments. This is what we think will help you during this stage and going into the next stage. If we don't finish it, if it's 2 or 3 months later that we finish it, it's still, oh, that's great. That's awesome. You know, it doesn't matter that it's 2 or 3 months later. So that's where just being in the group and surrounded by people who I feel like we want this, we're kind of in search of the same thing. And we're all about building one another up and helping wherever we can. And we all, because you all are patient and you all show us grace, we do the same thing with each other.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think what you remind me, as you're talking, you remind me about, so the most recent testimony that you submitted, I was like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing. Because you said, basically you said, I think the journey is in the search for the answer. It was something like that. It was like, it's not, like you just said, it's not about completing the homework assignment on time or like, but you, no matter what, you've showed up to the meetings, even if you didn't read or something didn't happen. And you've said it's in the search, where I was like, yes. I mean, that is the truth. It's that when you're constantly in the search for who you are, what does presence mean? How do you become more aware? It's in that search that you find those answers. And that was just so, I mean, perfectly said.
Yeah, that was an eye opener for me too, because I don't know if y'all remember during like the beginning, I told everyone that I had set these goals and I was meeting my goals. And like each time that I met one, I was excited and like proud for a minute. And then after that, it was just like, okay, what's next? So it didn't do anything for me like I thought it would. But then when I started thinking about it as in, it's not when you get to that goal and you meet it, it's about what did you have to do? What was the experience to get you from here to here?
Yeah.
Like this part is where, that's like where the magic is. That's where you get the lessons, and that's where the feeling that you want to feel is between here and here, and not necessarily when you get here. And that's kind of, I think you posted in the group the video about, I can't think of his name. We read his book. But he was talking about goals and intentions. Yeah. So it's like the goal is that tangible thing that you look for, that thing that quantifiable thing that you can say, yeah, I did it. But the intention is like
that Kyle Cease in The Illusion of Money.
Yes, yeah. That video. I went back and I listened to most of the full interview, but he talked about the goal being like that quantify, like, hey, I want to make $30,000 next year. Okay, that's my goal.
Yeah.
But the intention is more of, how do you want to feel?
Yeah, what experience do you want to have?
Yeah, yeah. So that's more of the feel. That's more of what I'm going after these days. Is, hey, how do you want to feel? And that, I like that better.
Well, and that was such a perfect, when I found that video, I was like, oh, I got to share this, because I remember back in the first month when we were asking everybody to set intentions for the first stage. And I know that the idea of setting an intention is different for a lot of people. Everybody's used to having the goals and having very specific, and especially as admin, I know that in different jobs, we are asked to, like, it's very hard to set like viable goals for the admin role. Whereas with agents, you can say, I want you to close 3 deals a month, 36 for the year. It's very tangible. And with the admin role, it's less tangible. And so I love the idea of shifting more into an intention, because it feels more achievable. And it's also, you should be feeling good while you're doing this. Like the feeling good piece should be a part of it, because then you get more good. Like with the better you feel, the better it gets.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that you said that, because you just made me think about at the beginning of each year, me and the agent that I work for, we used to go over our goals. And it would be so hard for me I'm not closing property, I'm not lead generating. Like, I don't know what my goal, and I've never thought about it. That's why. It's
really hard. And so it's, for me, I remember something shifted when I decided, okay, my intention is that Sarah Trosky and I, when we were working together at Pickett Street, we are going to be the best admin department on the West Coast. Whatever that is, we're going to be the best, and we're going to perform at a level where people know that, and we walk the walk, talk the talk. And so that was our intention. And that looks like a number of different things. It looks like us being spokespeople for the team, us supporting the agents the best way we know how, showing up each day how we want to show up, that we know, like, what does the best admin team look like? The best admin team looks like they're on top of their game. They know where all the systems are. So it really changed the feeling for me, because like you just said, I would go into those goal setting meetings like, I don't know, do we want to get 5 reviews a month? Like what?
Yeah.
I
like that.
Let's see if we had. I guess the next question we had for you is, why have you continued your membership? You've kind of answered that a little bit, but I know there's been times people have probably thought, oh, maybe I should drop out. I don't feel like I'm doing the homework enough. Or what has made you stick around?
Honestly, because there have been a few times where I haven't read the book, and we're going to be discussing the book on that meeting, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna get on. I'm embarrassed. I haven't read anything. And then I would just be like, no, because for one, if I don't attend the meeting this week, I know I'm gonna regret it. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna miss something that I needed. So, and not to keep talking about the feelings, but it's just like, I feel lighter when I come off of the meetings. Like, I feel lighter, and I just feel better. Like, I'm never like, ugh, Can't
Well,
believe I just
we
spent
do
2
talk
hours.
about we do talk about feelings a lot, so you can talk about feelings as much as you want because
Yes.
it's true.
It just feels good. I'm never like, I can't believe I just spent 2 hours on that. I'm just like, and sometimes honestly, once the meeting ends, if I'm at a good place in my work day, because like here, by the time we meet, it's 12. So if I'm at a good place in my work day, I'll end my day after the meeting. I'm like, let me end on a good note today. And I might go outside with Champ, or I know one day after our last meeting, I wrapped things up and I took Champ to the park.
Yeah,
And
because
it
it's
was
also
like
on a Friday, right? Yep.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
Nice.
I just feel good after the meetings, and
I
I
love
think I
that.
missed maybe like 2. I missed 2, but then also knowing that if I haven't read the book, it's okay because I'm still going to be able to contribute.
Yes.
It's not like we're talking about the book like, well, did you read here on page 5 that she said? It's not like that. It's whatever we discuss that we get from the book, it applies to life, and we can all contribute to the discussion.
That's a really
So
good point.
again, no, there's no pressure. Like, so that's why I continue to keep coming to the meetings.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you're a part of it.
Yes, I appreciate y'all. I know I tell you that a lot, but I really do. I really feel like joining BU has changed my life. Like, I've met a lot of goals this year. I've accomplished a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish, and I'm not sure if I would have done that if I wasn't in BU. I'm really not sure if I would have.
Wow. Yeah, it's been really fun to watch everybody take steps that maybe they normally wouldn't have felt like they could take as easily with the support of everybody.
Yeah.
So
thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we let you go for the day?
Yeah, I think I pretty much shared everything. Can't think of anything else.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Thank you for inviting me to do this. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you for having me, and Champ. Say bye-bye.
Bye, Champ.
He's eating his blueberries. It's okay. All right. Bye, y'all. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
Geez, again, such a poignant experience. And I love how she can put words to everything about how she feels and what she's experienced.
And to be able to see, right? I mean, she says she's achieved all these things this year. And so things are going well. It's not like she was in trouble and she got into BU, right? She was curious. She wanted some solutions. And now she's finding that it's doing even more for her than she realized. And now she's recognizing that that is a part of why she is able to achieve. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. She's just blown my mind with her reflection about everything. It's been awesome.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, should we take a short 5-minute break for ourselves and then come back with Kristen?
Come back and hang out with Kristen.
Okay. All right. I will share my screen and then we'll be back in 5 minutes. You guys, if you're watching this recording, I'm going to share the page where you can sign up and get more information about BU. It's through my website, iloveitwhen.org, and just click on BU, the inner circle. So we will be back in 5 minutes.